Good evening. We're going to start with the pledge and into a special meeting and then into a regular meeting. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What? Trustee Fritchie.
Present.
Trustee Yost. Deputy Mayor Lopez.
Present.
Mayor Levin.
Here,
Village Board resolutions. Resolution A, Board of Trustees resolution authorizing the village manager to submit a grant application via lead service line inventory. Whereas the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation is offering $425 million in grants for clean and drinking water projects in selected municipalities with infrastructure projects that affect public health and or water quality. And whereas one of the grant opportunities made available through the Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, or WIA, is to perform a lead service line inventory. And whereas the estimated cost for the lead service line inventory is $644,000, and whereas for this grant, the village can be awarded up to 100% of the full estimated project costs. And whereas any amount above the grant award would need to be supplied or matched by the village. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the village manager is authorized to execute such documents as are necessary to complete the application for the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act lead service line inventory, subject to review and approval by the Corporation Council. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
so Karen, this is a grant and that we obviously, I'm in favor personally.
Right,
But just a 30-second sort of, what are we talking about here?
so, macro view is by, 2037, EPA has mandated that, municipalities replace their, lead and copper, replacement line program. We're all mandated to do this. We've been actually ahead of the curve. We've already done a lot of this work. But we have over 300 lines that have been identified. There's possibility that we'll identify more. But it will cost us a lot of money. So over this period of time, getting this grant would significantly offset the over $4 million that we're estimated to have to spend on these projects. And then, so there's one grant, I think I'm getting ahead of myself because there's two grants.
There's A and B, yeah, you can do both.
So one is, and Andy, just make sure I get this straight, one is more of identification grant, like money to identify lines that may be still existing. That's 100% funded, based on what we estimate now, which is a little over $600,000. Could turn out to be more, but that's our current estimate. And the other grant pays for 70%, I believe, of the total cost of the project for the actual replacement of the lead service.
Okay, anybody have questions? We're good? All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution B, Board of Trustees resolution authorizing the village manager in a grant application via lead service line replacement. Whereas the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation is offering $425 million in grants for clean and drinking water projects to selected municipalities with infrastructure projects that protect public health and or water quality. And whereas one of the grant opportunities made available through the Water Infrastructure Improvement Act is to perform a lead service line replacement. And whereas the estimated cost of the lead service line replacement is $5,397,000. And whereas for this grant, the village can be awarded up to 70% of the full estimated project cost, up to $10 million. And whereas the village would be required to supply the additional money above the grant award for the completion of the lead service line replacement, now therefore be it resolved that the village manager is authorized to execute such documents as are necessary to complete the application for the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act lead service line replacement, subject to review and approval by the Corporation Council. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution C, extension of preferred developer status of WB Development LLC for Main Street and Market Square parking lot. Whereas the Board of Trustees by resolution approved on November 2, 2022, authorized the village manager to enter into a letter agreement designated WBP Development LLC and the St. Catherine Group as the preferred developer for the village-owned property known as the Main Street and Market Square parking lots. And whereas the first period of exclusivity as the preferred developer for the property ran for 180 days from November 10, 2022 until May 9, 2023. And whereas the November 2, 2022 resolution provided in part that the term of the preferred developer status will be 180 days, which term can be extended by mutual consent of the village and preferred developer. And whereas the period of exclusivity subsequently was extended for an additional 180 days through November 5, 2023. And whereas the period of exclusivity subsequently was again extended for an additional 180 days through May 3, 2024. And whereas the period of exclusivity subsequently was again extended for an additional 180 days through October 31, 2024. And whereas the period of exclusivity subsequently was extended for an additional 630 days through July 23, 2026. And whereas the Village of Ossining Board of Trustees and WBP Development LLC want to extend the period of exclusivity for an additional 630 days until April 14, 2028. Now therefore be it resolved that the period of exclusivity detailed in the November 8, 2022 letter agreement is extended through April 14, 2028. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting and go into work session?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you.
And just a couple of things. Friday, trustee White will be hosting. Sort of. There's a mural that we've talked about a number of times, the school at Market Square.
It's coming to an end, now you know it's
No, it's coming to a beginning.
coming to a beginning.
It's a new beginning, and it's just that the old mural served its purpose for many, many, many years. Painted it over, the placemaking committee, the board, we've looked at different ideas, and we've refreshed that area. We know, and on the record have said, that it is not a permanent mural. It is, until we redo Market Square, which is in the works in one of our, piece of our strategic plan. The trustee White will be there, I believe, is it 4 to 6 p.m. this Friday?
6 to 7:30.
I'm sorry, 6 to 7:30, I have something.
And,
6 to 7:30
Basically a
this
chance
Friday.
for the community to come to Market Square to see the new mural, meet the muralist, who's amazing. He has done it entirely by himself in a matter of a few weeks freehand. I mean, I've been watching it and he really is amazing and he's been putting pretty cool reels online and stuff. But he's very well known and in this muraling world. It'd be fun to ask some questions, but you can then also do some sidewalk chalk painting, chalk art with chalk. You could do your own flowers, blossoms. So it's chalk art. It's a little bit of talk with the artist. It's having a good time. No snacks. I don't care.
Bring your own snack.
Bring your snacks. But hope to see you there.
Yeah, we're hoping people will just be part of the
Yeah,
fun.
just drop in, you know, don't even register.
And take a picture and post it. Take a
Yeah.
picture in front of the mural and post it. It'll be fun for Ossining. It's like a sort of a cool thing. Does anybody else have anything going on except for I'm hoping for decent weather the next few days?
Beautiful, it's going to be
So
beautiful.
everybody should enjoy the outdoors, our parks, our waterfront. I think that's it for now. Do you have something?
Then I got some spare shorts tonight,
St. August Fair starts
runs
tonight.
through Saturday.
They usually start 6 p.m., right?
Yeah,
That's what the
6 to 11.
sun's doing, 6 to 11. And everybody be careful, especially the weather gets hot, et cetera, et cetera. Please refrain from drinking, and then getting into your cars, and that's never a good idea. So hopefully it's gonna be as fun as it is every year. How long have they been doing it? Is it 20?
49 years.
What did you have?
32.
I was gonna say 30 something years, but 49 years.
It's about-
Wow, okay, great stuff. So everybody should enjoy. And village manager, we're off and running.
Hey, good evening, everybody. we have our village treasurer here and also our village engineer on Zoom. And I believe we have our chief of police and we have Lieutenant McGovern here in person. First off is Dale is going to review the capital projects budget adjustment. So with that, I will turn it over to her.
Hi, thank you, Manager Dettori. Good evening, Mayor and Board. We had sent a memo last week, basically summarizing a bunch of older capital projects that have been completed but have remaining unexpended balances left in the capital projects that we would like to close. The total amount of capital projects to be closed is $337,997.74. Two, 258,122.33 will go back to the general fund. 70,935.09 will go back to the water fund, and $8,940.32 will go back to the sewer fund. And there is a detailed list of each of the projects and the remaining balance and the fund that the monies will go back to. Additionally, when we adopted the 2026 capital plan, there were two projects for the police department that we were trying to firm up the expenditures to match with our procurement policy, which we have done or in the process of. So we are asking to create those two capital projects. The amount is what was in the 2026 capital plan. One is for the police policy software, and one is for the police AI video analytics. I don't know if the police department would like to touch on these two projects before we move on.
I'd like to hear, do you want to do it or is the chief on? I'd like to hear a little bit more about that so the public is aware of what we're discussing. Who's on Zoom? Oh, you said somebody said the chief.
Sure.
Chief.
I'm here.
Oh, I know we have a lieutenant here, but I thought somebody.
Yeah, no,
He's here.
I've got all the confidence in the world in Pat. They're his projects that he's spearheading. So I figured I'd give him the opportunity to answer any questions that the board might have.
Okay. Start, you're on.
Lexipol is the policy software, so basically for the last, yes, as long as the police department's been around, we've been writing policy. We're not professional, attorneys. We don't have that ability to write policy. We're in compliance and are in compliance with what New York State has deemed us accredited. So everything is above board. We're doing a great job on it. It can be better. So Lexipol takes our policy, they have attorneys go through everything. They redo the policy. They do many other jurisdictions in the state, including Croton, other neighbors in the county. And they make sure it meets the standards for the state. It meets or exceeds the standards for the state and make sure everything's tested. And they will continue to update policy to make sure it's keeping with any new case law that comes out and make sure everything is tested and current, pretty much. A better job than we possibly could. With that, there's additional things with the software for officer wellness, in order to get officers any help that they might need. There's a lot of stigma in law enforcement with mental health. This gets away from that. It gives them an app where they can actually reach out, get help without, raising any alarms at work, without causing anyone to question why maybe they're asking for help. Now, our supervisors are obviously in touch with them, and if anything were to come up that would be an actual, more than just a basic problem, that they would make us aware. But for them to just reach out to talk to someone, and that's the biggest thing in law enforcement is, suicide. I mean, not to beat around the bush, that's it. And
keeping our officers safe mentally, physically, everything is a big part of that. And that's one of the other components that came with Lexipol and why we went with Lexipol over some of the other, there was other softwares that do the same thing and other companies do the same thing. That's why we lean more toward Lexipol because it was kind of an all-in-one. They had all these other aspects to it. So that's, as far as Lexipol, that's it on that.
Sorry, Pat, I didn't mean to cut you off. Probably the biggest advantage to the direction that we're going in with this is that it keeps policies up to date with best practices and also case law, should any case law change while the policies are in place. So the Lexipol team keeps the policies up to date with, again, best practices and any current case law changes in New York State or, throughout the country that may change the way our policies or laws or the state are governed. So it keeps everything up to snuff in a more timely fashion. And it's all done through a legal team that they have to put those policies together.
Okay, so you have a policy book now, right? How many pages is it?
What's that?
409. The current manual, I believe, is 498 pages.
Okay, so just south of 500.
We'll say 500.
Okay, so is the first step to look through the 500 pages of the current policy, or has that already been done and redo to update it to everything you just said? So I don't have to repeat it.
So they get a copy of our policy. They have their policy of what works, what's tested and everything. And I have to work with a rep from Lexipol, and we have to, as a team, have to go through the policy, give them any changes.
The process has already started.
Yeah, with anything that we need to be more Ossining specific, anything that we have here that maybe isn't standard. That we have a lot of specialty units. They require specialty.
Process has already started with Lexipol as far as reviewing our current policies, and the next step would be fine tuning them to suit our departmental needs rather than like a cookie cutter policy that would fit generically to any department. So it's being gone through and tailor fit to meet the needs of the Ossining Police Department.
Okay, it's not about the needs. So it feels a lot like you said lawyers are looking at it, but a lot of this sort of stuff, this compressed policy stuff in other industries, is being done totally by AI and not accurately, right?
That's incorrect.
So what, hold on. What lawyers are looking at all of this? So this is a company that sells a platform. Who are the lawyers that are actually looking at all this stuff?
This stuff's already rolled out through Lexipol, through their company. They're currently being used across New York State. They do stuff across the nation.
Okay, so it's basically, even though every municipality has slightly different stuff, it's generally taking laws that exist in New York State, based on everything, I'm not repeating everything you said. And it will redo our policies to that standard, and you'll work with them on that. And if there's some policy that needs to be done, specific costing, you'll be in charge of making sure that's included. And they update this on a regular basis, so that you guys are not writing policy anymore.
Exactly.
On your own. I know that you've been involved in policy stuff as well. Minimally, so you don't have input to this, or you do have opinion about this? I'm not questioning what you guys are doing, you're here for money, I'd like to understand what you're doing.
I can't give an opinion because I know nothing about the company,
Okay,
so that would be unfair.
okay, and how much money is this, Dale?
Uh,
We've already
this,
discussed.
this is 48,200.
And I feel like we discussed this during the budget season, and we all had this conversation, so this is an update and an adjustment, right?
Yes, this is
Okay.
to actually create it. We were holding off to make sure all the procurement boxes were checked.
Got it. And what is the contract for? 5 years, 3 years?
The
It's a
first,
platform, right? So.
yes, the first year is a little heavier, that's where the $40,000 comes in.
Understood.
Then it dropped, that's the onboarding, that's,
Right.
a heavy process.
Understood.
After that, it drops down, I don't have the numbers in front of me for how much it drops down, it's a pretty drastic drop though.
Yeah,
May I have it?
I believe it's 10 or 12.
I think we've had this conversation. Okay.
Yes.
So I mean, again, just so public, when they look at this, it feels like that is far less than 2 police officers sitting around writing policy all year long. Hopefully correctly, I'm sure they've been doing it well all this time, but it just feels like a cost saving as well, aside from the efficiency of it all. Great. Does anybody have comments, questions?
Yeah, I'll chime in. So this was part of, a set of work that basically every police reform effort we've taken over the years has focused on, which is police policy. And an impediment always is, people power, to be able to go through all of that and be able to, in an informed way, make recommendations. Because one of the questions that often comes up is, well, what are other departments doing in the county, in the state, across the country that we may want to do here? And it's a ton of work to try to figure that out. And so this software, I think, is really helpful and in line with what a lot of those committees have wanted, which is not just kind of a one-time, let's put a ton of effort to doing that, and then it will sit there until 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, there's another focus on it, but it can, on an ongoing basis, be updated. So it's in line with what a lot of folks have wanted, and I'm in full support.
Yeah. Anybody else? I mean, I know we discussed the budget, but nobody in the public remembers all these conversations, so.
But my 2 questions are, one you've answered, which is what's the ongoing license kind of renewal kind of piece. The other one for me is just I really want to make sure that there's a process for the process management, meaning like internally, you have a group of folks that review any recommended changes or updates to policies and procedures on a review, that they come up with, right, before you actually sign off on that. That would be fine. Like just make sure that process is in place.
Yeah, well, we are always the final say in what gets put out. So yeah, it would get put in front of the command staff. We would review it, and then once it gets my final seal of approval, it would go into place.
Great. For anybody else? All right. We're good to go.
Okay, great. So an adjustment for a capital project for the 2025 Spring Street Sidewalks and Streets project is being requested. The original project amount was $1,700,000. Paul would like to increase it to $2,100,000 with the $400,000 increase coming from our New York State Department of Transportation, our CHIPS funding grant. Paul, do you want to speak to that?
Sure. Thank you, Dale. Good evening, board. So when we presented the Spring Street project to the board a little over a year and a half ago, when we were putting the documents together with the county, we refreshed everybody's memory that was actually a 2021 to 2023 funding cycle for the county's CDBG program, which I believe you're all very familiar with because they've been very good to us. So it got a little stalled coming out of COVID, and we finally bid it. And if you've been down to Spring Street, you can see we're well underway. In fact, we're over about 65% completed with the sidewalk rehabilitation project. However, when we first started talking about it with the county, they were going to fund 2 applications. They asked us to break it into 2. One, Spring Street from Broad to Lafayette, and then Spring Street from Lafayette south to Revolutionary Road. So the county, I'm sorry?
I said that's pretty far down.
Yeah. So the county pulled back on that. They they had deemed that the project was, with the escalating material costs, they didn't want to fund the full project, and they didn't want to give us the 400,000 because we're overlapping projects, and because they were behind, they tried to combine it into one project, and because the cost was coming in excess of what our match plus their contribution was, they said, you know what, Village of Ossining, would you consider this? Would you take 200 that you have now for this project, and we'll also give you the 200 for the Lafayette South phase, and you could use it in your one project that is active right now. And we jumped on that. And what it allowed us to do was it would lessen our contribution to this project, which was going to be chips initially. And then
Hey, Paul, we lost you. We
Paul,
see
we
your
lost
mouth moving, but we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
We see your mouth moving, but we can't hear you. All right. You could text them. It won't matter. Are you?
Paul, we can't hear you. We've got nothing, Paul.
Point to your phone.
Yeah.
So you guys can't hear him either, right?
No,
No.
no.
Okay, you guys
And-
can hear us, it's only him,
Yeah,
okay.
he's dialing in from his phone.
Let's take a minute. Stop.
Mm-mm.
Karen is talking to him on the phone at the hallway. I don't think it's pretty good. Okay, I have a speak. They figured it out. A minute.
All right, well, pop out like this.
Let me just put you right next to this super sensitive. There he goes. You're on.
Okay,
We lost you for the last like 3 or 4 minutes, I would say.
all right, so I'll go back. So Spring Street was a CDBG project from 21 to 23 funding cycle. They were gonna do from Broad in 2 phases, from Broad to Lafayette, and from Lafayette all the way to Railroad Road. The county deleted that second phase and committed to give us their $200,000 match and put it towards the 200 they were already giving us for the first phase. So we got $400,000 from the county, the project that we're working right now, which came in as expected around $100. During that time, I sat with them, talked about our CHIPS allocation and the CHIPS money that we have been building up and saving for the Route 9 road safety project, which is pending bidding hopefully this year after some final state approvals. And we believe that we've have enough set aside in our grant, capital commitment, and our CHIPS budget where we can pull some of the CHIPS money out, this $400,000 that Dale referenced earlier, and allow us to do the section that the county didn't want to do with our annual bid contractor. He gave us an estimate to complete that sidewalk work, and I've already secured an estimate to complete the paving that will follow that. The only reason I'm looking to undertake that, because we are in there now, and it would look, I would like to complete that corridor. It's appropriate corridor to complete. It's much needed, and we have the money to do it. So, and I spoke with Con Ed. They have no pending plans to do any ES work on Spring Street, knock on wood. And we also have the water department. I don't know if you heard me say this earlier, but you were talking about the grant earlier for lead service. One of the lead service corridors that the water department knocked out in advance of doing any work there was along Spring Street corridor. So coming in, ran their new gas main all the way up to Haggett Spring, and then they're done for now when they ran their services. The water department finished all their lead services in that entire Spring Street corridor. So now we want to go in and give all the residents new sidewalks, and pavement, and striping and pedestrian safety, what have you, that are all usually included in our CDBG projects. So because the county didn't complete the second phase corridor, the village is using our annual bidder to complete that facet, and it necessitates the need for money from this transfer that Dale presented.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Anybody else? Questions? I think it's pretty clear, actually.
So just to clarify, so the total new amount of 2.1, that would cover the entire stretch down to Revolutionary.
That's for, yes, no, but the Revolutionary was already sidewalks and pavement were already completed by Con Ed and us over the last couple of years. Con Ed just came to the top of the hill pavement. It's gonna go from their road, basically Star, right past the Star. Yeah, so the top of the hill is actually back up to Broad.
Okay.
Great,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dale.
Next. Well,
Gail, do you have more to go?
Nope, I am complete. Thank you.
There was a second police, but
There was less school.
no, there's two projects.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, yeah,
The middle, yeah.
Yes.
you wanna discuss that? Dale, you wanna tell us the amount and then we'll hear a little, like a minute on it?
Yes, absolutely. So the amount that was in the capital plan was $39,000.
All right, the 39,000 goes for 30 seconds, anything over 40 goes for a minute.
All right, so middle is, it was supposed to be in conjunction with the cameras. We found out we can't actually use the current cameras on it until we can get the rest of the cameras done that are part of the other capital project to get us compliant for security purposes. So we're gonna go with that half now and get the cameras done, the cameras switched over when we can. Basically, it's a camera management software for those cameras. We'll also use the other cameras that we have in the village. It'll kind of manage all those. It'll be able to detect motion. So it'll see people moving. It'll tell you if there's movement in that area. Current cameras don't really do that. They're just cameras. So anytime if I'm looking for something booking somewhere where I can find videos of people when they're being booked or anything, I have to manually go through it, find the video, clip it. This will just show me, hey, there's movement here. I know to clip it from here to here. It's going to save a massive amount of time with that. It'll help if there's any incidents outside of the building, be able to get better eyes on. It's not like a facial recognition software. It's looking for clothing. So if there's a clothing description, it'll be able to give us more on that. It's not saying this is this person. This isn't like stuff that you've seen in Madison Square Garden or anything like that, where they've used it to detect individuals. It's not for that. So it's basically just a replacement for our current system and an upgrade. Once we get the other cameras upgraded, which we budgeted for, it'll kind of get us all 100% compliant with foreign actor camera system. About many countries.
I don't know what foreign actors are, but I'm sure that means something.
These are cameras around the village or in your?
Yes, cameras around the village and in the
Or police cameras?
in the police cameras. Yes.
So like the license plate in your cameras?
Yes,
Oh.
they're a part of it. They would be used for that also. But most of the cameras the majority of the cameras are the cameras on and in our building.
Okay.
So we have cameras in the cells to make sure everyone's safe in the cells. If something were to happen in the cells, it can, it'll let us know.
Yeah, they've had things happen in the cells and
Yes.
you don't really have police officers sitting there 24 hours, so this is helpful. What goes on there,
We're working with them. It should have the ability, we're working with it where it will be able to tell if someone is, causing harm to themselves. It'll be able to give us an edge and be able to get in there faster and know that someone's trying to cause that harm. So this will greatly enhance the safety of those individuals in the cells.
and that's one of the things, yeah.
One of them.
Okay. So, good. Anybody else? Thank you for the explanation.
One of the biggest advantages of this software is it cuts down a considerable amount of man hours it takes to actually sift through video, depending on what it is we're looking for. And with this software, we can input what specifically we are looking for and bring it up in a matter of seconds versus a matter of hours, whether it's for discovery purposes or investigative purposes. It streamlines that process and it puts all the data pretty much in one place where it can be sifted through in a
So, Chief, the only problem is that you're coming in, but amazingly not clearly. I'm sort of figuring out every third word, and so it's gonna be hard for somebody to look at this video and understand what you're saying. So unless there's something you can add, I mean, I got cost savings, for man hours. Is a major piece of what the chief is saying. I don't know if you picked up anything else, but it's hard to record from whatever phone, you're using because there's so much static and so many, empty spots in that.
I will say it's an upgrade that's well overdue. The current software we're using, the DVR software, is about almost 10 years old at this point. The last time they updated it, they don't update it anymore.
Right.
So
This is part of the infrastructure, both the physical, the cameras, security, officers, for the public, for people in the building. It's part of an upgrade that's needed in technology, I think would be the easiest way to say this. Okay, next. That was the police. Thank you, Stuart, for reminding me, because I know you couldn't think of the two things. What else we got on this topic? Yep.
Nope, that's it as far as I can see.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Madam Treasurer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I think we're done with this part. Thanks for coming in.
There. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, the next, item we have.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Good
Nate. Good night.
The next item we have, 5306 Smart Inc., with a presentation on, their proposal for a cannabis dispensary. So, with that, I'd like to, if you can come up and introduce yourselves and we'll run this.
Sit down.
You can sit anywhere. We can hear everything in the room. You can stay where you are. You can stand there. You can sit on whatever it works for you. There's a new system in here. It's very sensitive, so it picks up everything from everywhere.
Good evening, everyone. My
Good
name is
evening.
Pramit Singh. I'm here to present the 5306 Smart Inc. DBA Daydream Dispensary. Go to
You
next-
have to tell her next page.
Okay, next slide, please. Here, first, we'll start off by introducing the leadership team. First, we have Joginder Singh, owner of several gas stations in the petroleum industry for 20 years, customer service and retail focus.
I'm sorry, are any of these people here?
Not Joginder, just the next two.
Okay, you'll just let us know. Great, thank you.
Sorry about that. Owner and operator of 3 successful cannabis dispensaries, Zaza Green Cannabis in Springfield, Massachusetts, and then the Cannabis Hut dispensary brand, which is in West Springfield, Poughkeepsie, and Newark, New York. Can we go to the next slide, please? Next is Timothy Rook. I believe you might have been in contact with him. He's been talking to the town a little bit. He fortunately was not able to attend due to a medical emergency.
Okay.
Yeah, Came from Massachusetts, great guy. Over 40 years of experience in government relations, operations, and community relations with Zaza Green Cannabis, Cannabis Hut Dispensary in Massachusetts and New York. Community focused on sponsorships, local hiring, and community engagement. supports government and community relations of 3 dispensaries, which are being the Cannabis House brand in Poughkeepsie, Newburgh, and West Springfield. Moving on to the next. This is Jatinder Singh. He's actually here present with us.
My name is Jatinder Singh. I lived in Yorktown last 20 years. And I own and operate several gas stations in Dutchess and Orange County. And I have a 20+ year retail experience. And I opened my first retail dispensary in Springfield, Mass in 2023. Then we opened 3 dispensaries in New York.
And what percentage of this company do you own?
So actually my wife owns all of them. She has a partner, not under my name.
None of
taking
these
care-
are under your name.
Not under my name, it's under my wife's name, but I'm taking day-to-day operations every day.
So you have 0 ownership in this,
I have 0 ownership, but my wife has ownership.
but you have 0.
Yes,
Okay, and how much do you own?
0 ownership.
You have 0 ownership, okay. Go ahead.
Yep, we can go to the next slide, please. Next is myself, Prince Singh. 10 years of retail experience operating several gas stations throughout New York. Well, background, Joginder is my dad, and this is my uncle as well. We are a family-owned business, family-run as well. Cannabis experience with inventory management, compliance, which consists of like OCM, local compliance, municipality-based, and hiring and training, all geared towards OCM compliance and local compliance. Day-to-day operations, support of 3 dispensaries such as Cannabis House Poughkeepsie, Cannabis House Newburgh, and Cannabis House West Springfield. Go to the next slide, please. Rendering that is.
that's not the
That's not
relevant, and Tim, I think, sent you the actual one. This is just the AI pictures.
He sent us plans for internal operations inside the unit that you're going to be renting, but we didn't get any additional.
Picture I can send it to you, yes.
Where is this?
This is the Midway Shopping Center, 109 Croton Avenue across from Eastley.
The shop, how your suspension shop is.
Got it.
Doesn't look like that.
Go to next.
That's, yeah, it's not, yeah, that's not development.
Yeah,
No, that's not filming.
Okay.
We go to the next slide, please. Thank you. This is our projected floor plan. As we can see, we have the main sales floor area. For security, each side add a vestibule, which we have in our other 2 dispensaries as well. Basically, someone comes in, you check their ID first, and then we buzz them in. Someone who's not 21 cannot enter. Expired IDs cannot enter. It has to be a it has to be a government ID and a passport to basically get accepted in. So we got the floor plan, then behind that we have the POS area where the bud tenders essentially make the sale. Behind that we'll have a little pass-through window. Wish I had pointer here so I could show you this, but I can just for you. This is our pass-through window where we have the fulfillment there. Orders would come in, they'd get intaken, then further placed into the vault over there. And if someone was to order up here, a ticket shoots out right here. Therefore, that inventory personnel goes in the back, grabs the ticket, passes it through the window, and then the sale's completed right here. Everything else, we got the office, another office, employee break room, a toilet, this will be mop sink, and then a couple utility offices. Very basic layout. Not much more to it, just in and out. We can expect maybe someone stays in the dispensary for 5 minutes at a time. If it's a pickup order, we can even say like 30 seconds to 90 seconds. Any questions?
Okay, what do you have set up for security here?
Security is the vestibule.
Man security.
We could hire a security guard, but vestibule is serve that purpose.
How many people do you expect to have staffed at a time?
I could say maybe around 10 at a time or full.
Staff at a particular point in time.
4. We could say 3 bud tenders, and probably inventory, then I guess maybe add 5 for manager. Yeah. And then to the right, we have the proposed signage outside, where it's beyond the building itself. And yeah. So I have for the floor plans. Any other questions?
So, all the people that you introduced, are any of those people owners in this business?
Yes, Jaginder Singh?
That's the only owner?
Yes.
Alright,
That person owns 100%?
No, it is split between,
51-49.
You wanna know who owns 51? You wanna know who the owner is?
Jugender is owner 51.
his wife is probably the other owner.
Yeah, she is the other owner, but she is not on the PowerPoint case. But she introduced herself, when we have the Zoom meeting month ago or 2 months ago. She is a nurse and she worked in Somerville Manor from last 20 years. Yep.
I think there's a couple more slides. I'm happy to give a little bit of background.
Yeah, we'll wait till the board wants it. Yeah, did you have something more with security specific to this?
I just was curious of what they had set up for
Okay.
security.
Right.
you can go to the next slide, please.
Yeah, that's the drawing. Not relevant, no.
Okay, that,
Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
so. I know I'm the only one saying something, but, that sign you have on the street, that's enough.
So you're
Yeah.
showing us a presentation where so many of the slides are wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't have this be sent because they're wrong.
I have the correct link, I can forward to you right now. Yeah.
Okay, so all of these need to be removed because they're wrong. They can't go on as if this is what we're looking at. Cause you're showing us inaccurate information.
Yeah.
You're coming to do a presentation, but the information is inaccurate. You see, it's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But let's keep going.
Sure. Next slide, please. Questions and answers.
Okay. All right.
Would you go, Mary?
Yeah, of course. So thank you, for joining us. So we were contacted by the applicant team a couple of months ago, as Prince mentioned, that's right. Tim Rook has been our main point of contact. And so we went through the process that we've been going through with all of these dispensary applications, which is we have what's called a pre-application meeting. So that's typically with the planner, which is Valerie, with our building inspector, Joe, if Keller Sessions is needed for further site work, not in this case, and then land use council. So we had that meeting, we got to meet, is it Jamala? Your wife? Kamala, I'm sorry, Kamala. And Tim and yourself.
Correct, yeah.
We had a pretty brief conversation about what basically would be expected by this board in a presentation. Again, because you guys have seen a few of these, we're able to sort of highlight the things that we suspected you might ask about. Ownership, parking, lighting, sound, muffling, if any of that is required, and other industry experience. So we had that conversation and then we were able, the first day we were able to schedule them for was today. Again, to remind the board, the Office of Cannabis Management gives you 30 days to respond to the notice to municipalities, which was filed May 30th or 29th, I believe. So as we always do, we ask for an additional 30-day extension from the state, which we were granted. So we have basically until mid next week to respond formally to OCM. So basically what will happen from here, depending on what the board's feedback is, we will craft that letter, we will send it around to the board, we will send it to OCM. And then if the applicant team decides to move forward and OCM gives their blessing, they will go to the planning board. As trustee Yost mentioned, before the meeting, we have a newly updated set of regulations around what exactly it is that needs to be examined by the planning board now that we have a couple of these under our belts. So hopefully that will guide the process a little bit more prescriptively if and when the applicant reaches that point.
Does anybody have questions or comments?
I want to add, the OCM already protect the location because we are meeting the state requirement. So the location get protected already. Again, we're not gonna move forward until we get all the locals approval.
Well, you can't.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right,
yeah, so the.
so you know
OCM
you're not the first one up at bat.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the
Okay.
OCM is fine with that location, we meeting the state requirement, whatever the state requirement is.
Can I ask why this location, how did you come to decide on this spot? Because we've got 4 others in either open or in the works in this village, right? What makes you think the 5th one's going to be the charm? There's a lot of competition.
There are only few towns of 10, so whoever get the license, they have to go to the same town, in the same town to find the location. From here to Yorktown, Bedford, Somers, Mahopac, all the towns are out, so you cannot choose to go to any town. In the Putnam County, whole county is out. So people where they can find the spot, they have to go there.
So you have Peekskill, you have Portland, you have Groveland, you have.
Peekskill is
Most of the
already,
town.
I think, 3, 4. We try in the Portland, but they are very specific. They have only cannabis zone in like 2 or 3 blocks. You can go only 3 blocks.
Right.
So already one dispensary open, so it's covered the 1,000 square feet, so nobody else can go there. So we tried different towns where you can find the spot.
No, so just check all the boxes.
Yes.
Actually, I interpret that a little differently.
Okay.
This is the only place that would have space.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a question too, like what about this market drives you here? And what I hear you say is that this is the only place that's available.
Exactly. It's very hard to find the space. Not only in Dutchess, Westchester County, basically the whole state.
Got it.
If you can notice in even the Long Island, all the dispensaries open 1,000 feet to each other because no place to go.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's your break-even point from a revenue standpoint here?
It depends on the location, depends on the rent.
Well, you've got the location protected already, so I would assume you have a financial plan.
We expecting like 100 customer a day here. Average customer spend like $50. Based on Newark and Poughkeepsie location.
Got it.
This is Poughkeepsie. And there's a lot of other places people can go.
Yeah,
Other
so
people-
that's the like average basket from $45 to $55 average customer.
Got it. And 100 transactions a day, and what would you expect your hours would be?
Whatever the town allows,
So you would stay open as long as possible? Every day?
yes.
What's your target market? Who's your target consumer?
It's hard to say, it's gonna be from 23-year-old to 85-year-old. You see different kinds
That's
of.
everybody. You just gotta be more specific.
I mean, from what we've seen in the 2 other markets we have, majority of consumers are 40+. Disposable income, a lot of people, they use it for medical wellness, stuff like that. And yeah, we tend to see 40+ be a majority of our consumers.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you're looking for a high disposable income location with. With
No,
the
we
traffic.
just see that that's the type of trend we get when we see in other markets.
Got it,
Not that we're targeting that, it's just what this trend is.
got it, okay. Are you familiar with Ossining's demographics?
Yes.
How does that match up with the over 40?
Well, if we take a look at
High
the
income.
location and how it's zoned correctly, we see that Briarcliff and all these towns are opted out. And that's sort of what we're targeting.
Got it. So you're targeting outside of the village of Ossining.
And inside too. We serve everyone.
You just told me to just describe the target market is not the village of Ossining, so. So if I find that a bit kind of. We're using this for space. and
It
that's-
doesn't matter if they're coming from outside, but town can get the revenue, part of the revenue.
So there's a difference
So we
between.
bring in basically revenue from outside to inside the housing.
Got it. There's a difference between the town and the village, and then you realize that's one of the busiest streets in the village as well.
They're shaking their head, but they don't. You don't. Do you know that there's a difference?
Say it again?
There's a difference.
Village and town, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, I know.
And you know,
because
and you know the demographic difference between the town and the village?
I know a little bit, but I see the population in the city and the village like different. But I did not go like deep into. I tried to open the subway store on North Highland Avenue 10-15 years ago. At that time I was here circling around in Ossining.
Got it.
To find the space here.
So that's interesting for me, right? You mentioned that, I think at one point, one place in your presentation, and forgive me if I'm asking the wrong questions or.
Go for it. The mic is yours. The owl is yours.
Why are you looking at him?
No, just because I know other folks have questions, right? So like, just tell me if I'm asking to me, right? So, one of the things we've asked every, all of the people that have come in front of us, those who either did move forward or some did not move forward, right? Because there have been some that have not moved forward. We ask about what's your link to the community? What's your value to the community, right? That the business might provide. What I just heard you say is that like your primary value is the tax revenue, but are there other kind of, in your other locations, can you describe anything that you've done with the local organizations and things like that to kind of help like be good citizens?
Yeah, definitely. Town of Newburgh, Town of Poughkeepsie, we support food drives, we support Safe Harbor, which is a nonprofit organization, we support the YMCA, we support the American Legion. And I think we have a patch made where $6,000 a year we donate to nonprofit organizations. So basically $500 a month. So like that in sponsorships and definitely want to work together with the community. We like to get local artists into our shops. We like to support like local vendors and all that. Definitely going around from business to business, try to network and connect, try to grow each other's businesses.
Have you identified any specific ones in the village?
I mean, I see a lot of food places here. And like definitely food and cannabis works together a little bit. So you want to target some of them. And we were working with the people that own the plaza, and there's a lot of community resources in that plaza as well too, and we'd like to donate to them as well.
The plaza?
The Big Wave one?
Oh, okay, man.
Yeah. I think there's like it's something to do with, I think it's like banking for Hispanics, some of that in the plaza, or?
No, there's a, close, but no.
Okay.
And who owns, whose name is on the, application for this particular license state?
My wife comes.
She's the 51%.
She
Is she 51 or 49%?
She is basically 11%, and my son is 79%, something like that.
Okay, so, okay.
That's not silly.
Yeah, that's different, that's what.
No, I mean like she owns 6%, my son owns 94%. It's on the papers of the state.
Okay.
Maddie, did you have access to that?
Yeah.
Okay, the application.
I can provide
the information.
Yeah, again, all that we've received, which is what led us to schedule this presentation, like, meeting notes to the municipality, which has contact information, the location that they're looking for.
Right. So,
That's enough.
all right, do you want to go there, Peter?
I do. Thanks for coming in. Have you been involved in the presentations to the other municipalities where you successfully opened?
Actually, Tim was supposed to be here, our partner in West Springfield. He got like a health emergency. He's supposed to be here at 7 o'clock, but he could not make it. He is the person makes the local contact with the local communities. That's what he's doing from last 40 years. That's exactly what he did in Newburgh. We both are running day-to-day operation basically.
Okay, got it.
So we have to come here because he cannot make it today.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, I've been in your position before where, maybe I didn't get off on the right foot. The presentation, as others have pointed out, had a number of errors. And, when we're trying to figure out some of the answers to the questions that folks will be asking us around parking and safety and all the things that Maddie pointed out, these are the kinds of questions that we tend to get. It's tough when Tim's not here and the presentation doesn't accurately reflect what you want to do. So I empathize that your position is tough, the one that you're in right now. Nevertheless, you're in the seat or you're standing in the position that you're in. And so we need to figure this out. And I'll say that there are some things that I like and there are some concerns that I want to raise. I like the fact that you all have been successful before. I've looked at the reviews of the other places that you've opened and they seem quite positive. It looks like things are consistent with the kind of quality that we would want in terms of general operations. So, I think that's good. I think that a lot of the things that you mentioned are in line with what we would be looking for in a business like this. At the same time, there are some key things that if you were to do this again, let's say we can turn back time and you're in front of us again, it would be some of the key things that I would implore you to do. One is to meet the people in the plaza. There are other businesses and organizations, knock on their doors, introduce yourself, get to know them. Tim certainly, I'm sure, is very capable in doing so, but they want to know who's going to be there, not just who the representative is, so that they get us, because they've already reached out to us and said, hey, we've heard this is coming in, we have some concerns. And imagine if you had an opportunity to introduce yourself, that would go a long way to understanding what their concerns may be and being able to bring those to us. The second is that, as my colleague Trustee White said, there are already a number of other dispensaries here, and I understand the constraint of, well, there are only so many locations we can go to, and so we kind of default to a place like Ossining. Given that, I would still try to learn as much as you can about Ossining so that you can do some of the questions that you can answer them much more specifically. Some of the key things to learn, what has made these other dispensaries successful? Why would yours be successful? Financially, in terms of reputation, et cetera, how you differentiate yourself. One dispensary came in front of us and said, we're a wellness dispensary. We want to market ourselves towards the wellness industry. So when my colleague Patty, Trustee Yost says, who is your demographic, that's partly kind of what he's thinking about is, well, some of us have heard this, some of us have heard that. And so those are the kinds of things that would be helpful to contextualize. From our perspective, there's a relatively limited amount of things that we look at in proximity to churches and schools and all these kinds of things. But what we want to write to the state is to tell them with confidence, yes, this is in line with what we're looking for, or no, it's not. From what I have seen so far, I don't have the information that I would need in order to give a positive declaration. Yes, they know exactly what they're doing with their business, with their parking, with all the rest of the stuff. I've met the people that are going to be running it. I've looked them in the eye and I know exactly what they're doing. They met the people that they're working with. We are not there yet, right? And so for my one vote, as if we're not voting, but as far as my one perspective, that's where I stand at this point. It's tough for now, given all of that, but I would say if you can come back with this kind of information, it would go a long way.
Definitely, we will.
So.
Dana? Oh, I'm sorry.
I already asked them.
Okay, thank you.
Good. So, a couple issues I have. I don't empathize with you like he does, okay? This isn't your first rodeo. Your presentation shouldn't even have been on the screen. Okay, that's number one. Was totally inaccurate. You're coming to us to open a business. We need a more professional setup than what you provided us. And then my second issue is, every other business that's come here, cannabis, the owners have been here. And we're not seeing the owners. And all I'm hearing is, well, I can provide this, and I can provide that. There's no providing, should be in the slides. we should have every piece of information given to us that we need so we can make an educated decision here. So you guys got a lot of work to do, in my opinion. So that's all I got.
Yep.
I mean, even the name of the street on your presentation was incorrect.
Right, everything is.
And that immediately makes us wonder. That's
You-
seriously wrong.
So for me, in addition to everything that's been said, this is not a great presentation for all this stated reasons. That I've already said. You predict to make $150,000 a month, which is $1.5+ million a year, according to you. And you should know what you're doing because Poughkeepsie is about 31,000 people, we're about 30,000 people. So, you know, we're a little less urban, but you know, demographics, whatever. So I don't even think you realize that, by the way. But and out of that, you give to the community $500 a month. Not a generous amount. There are other people who are in this business already who've made real commitments to the community. So in addition to my colleagues, which I won't repeat what they said, but I agree with what they said, I'm both empathetic to your situation and I am not. Because when you come in front of a board of trustees, you should be prepared. And we can't even use this. You gave us actually zero information and you keep changing the ownership numbers, which I find very disturbing. Because who owns a wife is not you. Like what I own under my name is a business, has nothing to do with my husband, and what he owns is nothing, unless you tell me that somehow, and it makes me suspicious as to who the owners are. In addition to what was said, and you kept changing that story, so I really would like to hear and understand the ownership of this business. If you opened up a barbershop, you wouldn't be in front of us, there are many barbershops. If you opened up a nail salon, you wouldn't be. This business is like bars and other things that the state runs and runs through municipalities. The idea that the reason you're here is because you can't open other places is not a selling proposition to anybody. If you were sitting in my seat, it borders on being insulting, actually. So you should think about who you have presenting, because you might have a great business plan, because you actually already have apparently successful businesses. Gas stations are not cannabis businesses, but they're a business. You've done retail, apparently successfully. That's a great selling point. If I didn't ever see you, I would say, wow, we have successful business people coming to speak to us. Having seen the presentation, I now have more concerns. So that's a problem for me. Like, I don't feel good. There are already, you have neighbors, like every business. I don't think you've made efforts to meet them. I can tell you because they've already complained. So I realized that maybe you didn't take the effort that the deputy mayor suggested, which is like most businesses, you should get to know, especially if it's a new and it's cannabis. Like you should know that cannabis is not opening a nail salon. It's a different kind of a business, right? And it's new to all these communities. So I would be more sympathetic to the community about opening it up. Who you hire, I mean, I've actually go to Poughkeepsie a lot. And who you hire actually matters, but you don't talk about the community at all. You have a bullet point that says you hire and you do, but you really don't. Because you actually didn't delve into anything you're really gonna do in the community. Throwing a bunch of nonprofit names is not really helpful. And the amount is, frankly, like, look at the numbers, right? So I think in addition to what everybody said, I would sort of step back and say, what would make the community welcome my business, not I'm opening up because I didn't have other choices, right? Like it feels a little bit differently. And there is a concern that there were already a number of them. I guess you didn't go look at the town because the town opted in, but they're closer to Briarcliff. If you own Briarcliff, you should have been looking at properties in the town, not in the village, frankly. So I don't understand any of the business plan. And I would just say that I'm totally uncomfortable, as you could tell. So I just suggest that you might take some of this advice and maybe think about it and use it, because I have no information that I can use in this presentation. Should never have been brought in front of us, because inaccurate information should not be brought in front of a board. A slide being off is one thing. Most presentation should not be put up so that the public sees it and thinks this is what we're actually thinking about. So I don't know how to get around that, because it doesn't happen that often, but like I'm scared that this will be the presentation people think we're actually thinking about. because of the way it's, I'm only talking to you because I know you.
Yeah, of course.
You try to help people who are trying to, I mean, it's a business, it's a growing business in the United States, it's growing in New York as the fastest growing cannabis business now in the United States. Whatever you think about cannabis, the fact is it's a business. It's a thriving business in a number of states. You may like it, you may not, but you may like nail salons or you may not like them either. That for me is not the story here. It's really about the way it's being presented and our inability to make decisions based on what we're seeing. And Maddie always tries, as does our staff, to help every business succeed in our community. This is no exception, but this is like a real disconnect for me and I think for some others. What's the next step here? What are we doing?
So I think the board has been pretty clear, about what your feedback is. By close of business tomorrow, I will, have a letter circulated, a draft to be sent to OCM, because as I mentioned, we're on a bit of a time crunch here. So hopefully that will be able to go out, Monday at the latest, but I suspect we might be able to send it out sooner than that. So.
What are we sending out?
A letter of recommendation, the board's position if they're making a recommendation to support the business.
So just by way of example, what we've done in the past, is generally, use a templated letter and then sort of talk about what the nature of this discussion entailed, as well as what details were in the presentation. What were some of the high points and what were some of the low points? And then sort of talk about the board's overall impression, and then that goes to OCM. Again, I think the feedback was pretty comprehensive. I think I have what I need to
Okay.
draft that.
Great.
But I also know that the board will probably want to read it carefully before giving it
Yes.
the green light. So I will make
Okay.
sure that you have that tomorrow.
Great.
Mayor, can I just ask one question to the folks? You do have a lease with Midway,
Yes,
signed lease?
time please, yes.
What's the term?
That's 10 years.
I'm sorry,
It's
10
like
years?
up to 10 years, we are renewing each year. Every year we renew, but up to 10 years.
Are you currently paying rent?
Not 2 months, then we can start paying the rent.
2 months?
2 months we get free, then we have to pay the rent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, thank you,
So
gentlemen.
before you sending out the letter, you can give us another chance to represent us again with.
It's difficult because of the timing. So like I mentioned, I can go back and get exactly the date, but it's either the 29th or the 30th that the board has in the 60-day timeline. So if I'm not sure there's a window to give all that information and be able to draft a letter and get it in on time. I'll certainly leave it up to the board if you wanna, give the applicant team, until noon tomorrow. Whatever you
You
suggest.
wouldn't have an opportunity to come to a meeting.
Right.
The timing does not allow that. So if you want to send a revised presentation, do it as soon as possible, and we'll take it into consideration.
Perfect, yeah,
Thank
And
you.
check the spelling of that street name.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have our final designs for.
any comments on?
No, no.
It's not that kind of a session.
No, I hear you.
I mean, you, like everyone on the world, can send an email. To the BOT, to Maddie, to anybody can send emails about any topic, anytime.
Yeah, I'll say it on there.
Okay, great, yeah, thank you, thank you.
We have, our final,
Hold on. If you want, we should go break for a minute. Okay.
Okay. You wanna go forward?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
It's just, the microphones are so sensitive, we can't really talk to each other at all, so if we need to take a break, we'll take a break to talk. You don't need one? Okay.
Okay, all right, we're. We have, the final, revised designs, a few different options. I believe there's 5 different options that Jamie's putting on the screen now from, Margaret, Uris, who, is the finalist for our Aqueduct Scrim. And tonight, hopefully you've had a chance to look at them. I did send them earlier today, but, we just got them today. But take a look, and then we really need to know this week, which one the board likes the best, and then we will have it printed.
So I'm a little confused. We went through the first iteration
Right.
and all,
Mhm.
not all.
We have more options, we should show them all.
Yeah, but
You know, we're gonna.
why
show
are we got
them.
options on? Where were those
There are
options?
options on
These are options based on our feedback.
So,
It's just
so
different color.
can I just take a step back? Just so everybody knows, there were some comments that the placemaking committee and that the board had on the final look. So it's really edits, this design hasn't changed, the overall design hasn't changed, but the color scheme has changed a little bit, the contrast. So it's just based on feedback and also feedback from the architect who have more information on the nature of the scrim itself, how translucent it is, and their feedback to the artist on what's gonna show best on the scrim once it's done. So.
And what did they say? The architect?
Well, they asked, they did think a little bit more contrast and color, so based on that collective feedback, we spoke to the artist, and the artist provided 5 different sort of subtle variations, very subtle variations on the same design. Some having a little bit more color and contrast, some more muted. It's up to the board to decide which one they like best, but they're all basically the same design.
There's 5 of them, can you go
Yeah.
through them, please?
Jamie, this is number 1.
There's 6.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
I looked at 5, okay.
Okay, this is,
The first one might have been the original.
no, it was
No.
5 different ones.
Yeah, they're-
Next, please. So we have some different, like there's a bird of prey added here, but the colors are still, blue and white and green with more contrast between the greens, so you see the, other image of the reflected image of the arch a little bit more distinctly on the right-hand side. Next, please. Different positions of the animals, and I said these were subtle changes.
They're very subtle.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised we're looking at it, but okay.
Okay, you know,
It's
we
about to
asked,
get less subtle. Okay.
next, please. Okay, now we're starting to see a little bit more color. So you have, the butterflies in a little bit more color, and next one, please. There's like a hummingbird, I think that was added.
Yeah.
Great, is this the final one? I didn't even notice
These,
if you changed
yeah,
or not.
there were 5 that were sent that were final, and these are those 5.
They're all, yeah.
Yeah, there's one
They're all
more
here.
with another.
So this is
dark
as large
bird.
as I can get it
The
on my
hawk.
screen.
The hawk on the right, there's another one with the hawk on the right.
Okay, this is the one that has the most color and contrast, and then the first one is really more neutral. This also adds some different types of, different types of animals, and wildlife and birds and things, so.
Got an osprey that she added? And this one's back to the blue, I think, yeah. So I think the issue is when an artist and architect spoke, when you see this, when she did it on a computer, it looks very vibrant and bright, but then when she understood the example, the corner of the building falls weirdly, so the bottom arch actually didn't really stand out. There were all these things, as an artist, she wants the best product. I was fine with the first one. But then she's like, oh, no, I'm gonna add this, I want a little more contrasting colors, because the headlights from cars hit things a certain way, because it's on a corner, because the material is not a computer screen, but a huge banner essentially. So the pixelation is a little different. I want it to be as bright as it can be, and they talked between them, who's in this meeting, me and Dana and you, Karen? And the artist and
And some of the people from the.
Right. So they were really talking about, so when it blows up to this dimension or that, oh wait, the corner of the building falls right where that bottom arch is, so you can't see it. So this is really adding the detail. We didn't want to ask the artists originally to do a second rendering when we're not paying them. We're only paying, and to use the word loosely, the winner. So the only question for us is, which do you like most? Do you like most color with the butterflies? She wanted to add more bird. She wanted more contrast.
What type of application is this gonna be? This came down?
It's a
No.
huge,
Digital print on.
This is
on
number
campus.
6.
on campus, huge campus. Oh, that's number 6? Oh, I
Yeah.
see. So you see in the right-hand corner,
The extra
So
vertical.
there was
the
a-
bird is much
This
more
is
gold.
the one
That
with
wasn't
the
in
most
there.
amount of wildlife
everything.
and the most amount of contrast, and the most amount of colors.
Right.
You know, it also, she did reposition, as Mayor said, slightly because it, you
It's
know,
the
with
corner of the
revision
building.
report, you know, comes around, you wanna make sure like things aren't on a crease and, you know, anyway, it's.
But I assume that the vertical line in there is the corner of the building. Was that the correct
I
assumption?
don't know
What
that
vertical
that's.
line do you see?
Vertical line.
Do you see a vertical line?
Yeah,
You do? Show me on your
Oh,
left.
there it is, yeah, it's right here.
yeah, there's a vertical line. I
Yeah,
assume
that's the corner.
that is the
Oh,
corner.
that's probably right. Yes,
Okay.
because that side's bigger
But she
than
did
the
Exactly,
move
right? So
something
that's-
slightly
Move
from the
things
original
around,
now,
because
that gives
otherwise
a better
the bird is cut
understanding
off
of the
and stuff.
actual dimensions.
I choose this one.
Yeah,
So-
well, so
so-
the question is, do you want more of the animals plus butterflies plus contrast or less is really like where it falls in. Understanding that over time it gets more diluted the color, but that doesn't matter whatever you choose. Yes, sir. Pat, just wanted to say.
Yeah, so I kind of like the color. I struggled with the osprey smack dab in the middle. One, because it looks like it's not actually, it's like, it looks like it's landing on something, but it's not really landing. And to me, it takes away from the arches a little bit because it does cover up the main top arch, right, of the aqueduct. So for me, like I like the other animals and I like the color, but I don't like the osprey and the placement of it because to me, it takes away from the core theme, which is the aqueduct, right, the way it looks. So that was my point.
Okay. Shannon, maybe you wanna go through backwards now, just a little, one more time. No, you know, no color, no osprey. Next, please. Osprey. No color. Next, please. Different position of the osprey, no color. Next, please. Osprey color, and I think there's one more after this.
Yeah, a couple more.
There's 2 more.
Okay, do the next
That
one.
hummingbird and swallow, right, that's what they had.
That's the red.
Okay, so, maybe go to the one right before this. So you still have the osprey, it's just a slightly different positioning, with the colors,
So we have 2 new birds of prey, we have an osprey and I don't remember what was that blackbird, hawk?
It was a hawk. The last one was a hawk.
Do we need them both?
No.
The osprey's kind of, heavy.
Yeah.
Seems too big,
Yeah, that, for me, that was it, because.
I like the black hawk over here.
so let me just go through her descriptions, The
Okay.
fourth one was original design with minor contrast adjustments. The second one was the same color palette as the first one with addition of the American osprey. Third one, minimal revisions, primarily darkening of the birds to increase contrast. Four introduces several additional accent colors. Similar to, number 4, number 5, adds a ruby-throated hummingbird. And 6 includes both the ruby-throated hummingbird and a red-tailed hawk. So what if we go with 6 with the ruby-throated hummingbird, red-tailed hawk, but ixnay on the osprey?
Okay.
That's
We're
what.
gonna still have the hills.
Key phrase there, you said red tail hawk? It's a red tail. Or it's not a vibrant red. It's an orangey brown,
Yes.
but it's noticeable when the bird flies.
Okay,
I'm okay with the osprey going out.
I think that's the hawk.
I don't, okay.
Just check the color of the bird,
That's the hawk.
Okay, none of the bird, but just to be clear, none of these are colored the way they're actually colored. None of them,
Yeah.
they're
I
just
understand that,
colored, yes, okay.
but it's indigenous to our area here and it's a red tail hawk.
Okay,
not just a hawk.
okay, it is a red-tailed hawk, but right now it's not showing it a color, like they're all monochromatic, sort of,
Yeah.
based on the color.
They're also she tried, so artistic painting, to match the palette for the parking garage. Every floor is a different color, so she's trying to also match palettes so that it works with every floor as you go through it. So a little bit of artistic,
So
bending
what she
of
did with the colors, just so everybody knows, like, she didn't like do multiple color, like every bird or thing is like sort of like the red ruby-throated hummingbird is entirely red. The butterfly is entirely orange. There's not the color that you have on it. These are not lifelike. They're just print renditions in a tone on tone type of color. So I think I just want to be like, it may be the way the hawk is the way it is, like I can maybe say, can you make they're not.
Can we
supposed to
show
have-
her one with the hawk?
Yeah,
It's
this
number
is the
6.
very last one, Jamie.
Let's imagine it without the offspring.
Okay. That's easy enough.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, but do you see what I'm saying about the colors? None of the colors like would be what the animals are like in real life.
There are a little bit of artistic renditions,
Stick a little bit of red on this.
All right, so can we have number 6 and ask her to see if red can be added to the red, whatever,
Alright,
and the chair, and everything else is fine.
I'm anticipating that the pushback might be, if I do that for one, then you do that for everything, you're talking to artists, like, and then we get into like a whole nother design that, like, we're going beyond what we do, George.
I would like to-
Absolutely ask
I
her.
would like to,
How are we going to hold on to design? Because we're asking for a little color on bird?
can I
Makes
Can I
no
make a
sense.
suggestion?
Makes
Here's
no
the
sense.
email.
I'm
The
sorry.
board really loves all the work that you put into it. There are 6 renditions. Thank you, much more than we expected. Thank you. One comment, take this out and add, red to the other one for balance and because it's more realistic. Thank you. I mean, she did a great job. Honestly, I was expecting 1 or 2 things back.
This is
This is like a lot of work. And we should be thankful, and it's only 2 changes.
Alright, she's very
That's
easy
it.
worker.
She's actually-
I have no problem asking her.
I gotta tell you, she was asking some great questions. It was like the 2 of them were having a great conversation. I wasn't even expecting it, so I think we're good. And there's a lot of color contrast and the fact that she took in that little border, which was like a little weird. And the fact that you can see that her largest half is the bottom one, that's really the big piece of this. And she added the animals were all good. What's the next thing on the agenda? Are we good? Everybody said.
Okay, good.
Everybody
Next
likes
thing,
this majority? Some changes? Yep.
Next,
I'll take over.
yeah, Stuart, 165 Main Street, awning application.
All right, very simply. Ossining Children's Center, excuse me, open door, this is going to be their awning, okay?
You got me a little confused for a second.
okay.
You're gonna have to do it.
PMS 286,
They've
baby.
already gotten their certificate of appropriateness,
That's
so
the
they have to put it in.
Where is the
So
awning going to be on the?
this is going to be on the building, not their new building.
Oh, yeah,
the old one.
Where they've already gotten their certificate of appropriateness, they're putting up a new one.
I'm glad
They're
you're.
getting, okay, on not on the Heliger building.
What?
Yes. Yes,
They're keeping.
Yeah.
they have to replace
Porter,
it.
keep the port, no, they're good for.
No, just that
They have to-
So, and they need your approval because it's,
I'm glad they're working on the old building.
Yeah, well, they're
That's
completely renovating.
next, we have, last year, the board had approved the 5-year plan for, section 8. And,
Well, that's
there is
cool.
an annual civil rights certification that has to be done. And we have it here. It is slightly different than last year's. The new one includes references to the Violence Against Women Act and some other legislation. But it's basically requires the same things. We have to get it into HUD by, I believe, the end of September. So it would just be a resolution authorizing in this case, it would probably be the mayor to sign,
Okay.
as well as,
Anybody have a problem with
Marilyn
this?
to sign.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's the one I said to you in the beginning or before the meeting started, that I'm surprised it's not Maryland presenting this, but then I realized it's totally a legal issue, that's nothing to do with,
Right, and Marilyn,
It's not
just
as
couldn't
easy.
make it tonight.
Yeah,
She
it's
would've-
not
she would've
as
been
easy
here,
as
but she couldn't be here.
yeah, no, that, I remember.
Marilyn
that.
is here online.
Oh, she is online.
Oh.
Okay, I'm
She's,
sorry.
she's here, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, she
Marilyn.
listened in. Sorry about that.
Marilyn, do you have anything to add? You don't have to add. Simply since you took the time to be here, is there anything Stuart may have left out that we need to know?
No, he said it perfectly. It's something that we have to do annually. There were some changes. You don't see this with the annual plan because we score very good in the CMAT certification, and it's a step less that we have to do, but the civil right has to be done every year on a yearly base. And like Stuart said, yes, they added some comments with some of the VAWA and some of the discrimination, but we will follow everything with civil rights and the housing, Fair Housing Act.
So we'll have that as a
Thank
resolution.
you, thank you for coming, Marilyn.
Okay,
Doing great job during
thanks.
difficult times.
And folks, the last thing on the agenda is, with regard to the zoning changes in the SPN, the Station Plaza North District. This is just because it's going to be a negative declaration for purposes of state environmental quality review. And we will, so when the board, it's scheduled for adoption on the 19th of August, there would also be a resolution for the negative declaration. I will advise the board that on the 12th of August, Valerie will be here. We did get comments back from the county with regard to the SPN. One request or one suggestion was basically just to clarify something. They, and that language can be done. They did have another, if you remember, we limited it to 6 dwelling units. The county actually would like that to take it out. But I think part of it may be, as Valerie has suggested to me, may not be familiar with the zoning district, that we really don't have the space to do that. So we'll discuss that with you folks on the 12th. But that was a suggestion that came from the county planning, because we have to send all of these to the county planning department.
Yeah.
So I'll read it to you briefly, but we'll go into more detail again at the next work session. It says, we also recommend the total number of dwelling units within a mixed-use building not be capped at 6. As such a requirement may be too constricting for larger property sizes, we suggest that the number of permitted units be naturally conditioned on the building bulk regulations and required unit square footage rather than prescribing a unit count for all properties. Again, there aren't many large properties to have more than 6. So that's why that number was put there. It's more likely that the county is less familiar than planner and the board is with this district. But again, we can discuss this further on the 12th. I did just want to bring that to your attention. We also got a comment from the county with regard to the landscaping, which is another one of the local laws. They have asked us to take out the phrase exotic species and replace it with non-native species to Westchester County. The theory being that exotic makes people think that it's outside of the country. And so this way, if you simply say non-native in Westchester, you know specifically what you're talking about. So that's a simple change.
What is the word natural in the first one, when you read it? What does that mean?
All they wrote is it'd be naturally conditioned based on the building bulk regulations. I think
What is naturally conditioned? What does that actually, I don't know what that, I know what the words mean. What does it mean together? Like, I don't understand what that is.
I would be guessing what the county planning board meant by it. I think, again, their view is you have a particular parcel, it's mixed use. Depending on the size of the parcel, that should determine what the number of dwelling units is, rather than the board saying 6 is the number.
So I would just say that one of the problems that we've seen with redoing all our zoning is oftentimes a word that a judge doesn't understand or lawyers don't understand is where people start defining. So if we can't figure out what the words are, I know it's silly.
Well, naturally conditioned isn't in our code. That's their
Well,
language.
I just don't know what that means. So if you could find out from them, like, is there somebody, like, I don't want words that we don't understand, because this is what happens to us all the
I
time.
will ask Valerie to follow up
Yeah,
with the
there
county.
must be
planning.
like some term that I'm just.
My interpretation when I heard it was that you've got X number of floors, you've got X amount of floor space available per floor. You have minimum unit size, do the math. Right?
Yeah, I get that part.
It's actually conditioned to the size of the parcel that it's gonna be built on.
Yeah.
So you will understand what that means.
Yeah.
That's the way I interpreted it. Now, it could be incorrect.
Okay,
Well,
Could be incorrect.
again, we'll have Valerie
That's
here on
fine.
12.
Have her find out.
thanks.
That's it for this. I think we have a,
We do have a last minute exec, that something came up, late today, so, we could adjourn for this after session.
And who's staying for the exec, is it legal, is it personnel?
on potential litigation.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Everybody's in favor. Folks, 9:05, we are adjourned.
Mayor, one thing, next meeting is not till